The laughter came first. Not warm. Not kind. It cut across the table like wire pulled too tight. My father-in-law stood with his wine glass raised, cheeks flushed from praise he hadn't earned. Christmas lights blinked behind him, soft, oblivious, stupid. Like they didn't know what was about to happen. "I'm proud of all my grandchildren," he said. A pause. "Practiced one. Except one." The word except hit harder than cutlery on porcelain. He didn't hesitate when he pointed. He never does. His finger stopped on my daughter, 9 years old. Hair braided carefully by her mother that morning. Hands folded in her lap like she was already apologizing for existing. The table laughed. Not everyone, but enough. I watched the sound reach her face in stages. Confusion first. Then recognition. Then collapse. Quiet. Disciplined. The way children cry when they've learned that noise only makes things worse. Her eyes filled. She didn't wipe them. She looked at me. Something locked into place inside my chest. Not anger. Not yet. A decision. Before I could stand. Before I could speak. Before I could do what everyone expected. My younger son laughed. Just once. Calm. Polite. He reached beneath his chair and pulled out a thin cardboard folder. Neat edges. Labeled. "Speaking of pride," he said evenly. "Let's talk about your second family, Grandpa." The room stopped breathing. People like to believe moments like that come out of nowhere. They don't. They never do. The signs had circled us for years. Small enough to ignore. Sharp enough to cut if you touched them wrong. My father-in-law's disappearances. Phone calls taken outside even in winter. The way he never used my daughter's name. Never let her sit on his lap. Always called her the girl like she was a mislabeled package. At first I called it favoritism. Old men have rot. You learn where to step. Then came the jokes. "She doesn't look like us." "Are you sure?" Funny how traits skip generations. Always smiling. Always watching to see who laughed with him. My wife heard it too. Pretended not to. Silence was her inheritance. I noticed other things. Bank statements folded too carefully. Holiday trips that didn't line up. A second phone he claimed was for work, despite retiring a decade ago. I told myself I was imagining patterns. That suspicion was a poison best avoided. Then my son came to me one night, long past bedtime. "Dad," he said, sitting on the edge of the bed, voice too steady for 12 years old. "Can I ask you something weird?" That's how it always starts. With weird. I didn't rush him. Rushing is how you miss things. I listened. His questions weren't his dates, names, addresses that didn't exist in our world. He learned how to search quietly. Public records. Property filings. School enrollments. I pretended not to notice when he borrowed my laptop. Or when his folders stopped using subjects and started using dates. At night, I lay awake cataloging memories like evidence. The way my father-in-law stiffened at DNA kit commercials. The way family resemblance mattered. Until it didn't. We never spoke about it directly, my son and I. We didn't need to. There's a look men share when they recognize the same threat. By December we had timelines. Overlaps. Photographs taken from too far away to be accidents. Another woman. Younger than my wife. 2 sons. Both adored. I watched my daughter shrink, trying to earn affection that was never meant for her. Trying to fit into rooms that resented her presence. And still I said nothing. Because truth hits hardest when it thinks it's safe. The folder made a soft sound when it touched the table. Cardboard on wood. Final. Birth certificates. School photos. Mortgage statements, his name typed cleanly at the top. No drama. No commentary. My son slid one page forward. Then another. "You've got good handwriting," he said lightly. "Consistent. Even across 2 households." My father-in-law's face drained in stages, like someone dimming a light. "This is inappropriate," he said finally. Authority by muscle memory. My son nodded. So was humiliating a child. No one laughed. My wife stared at the papers like they were written in a language she almost understood. Her hand shook once. Then stopped. I didn't look at her. I watched the old man realize the room had shifted. That the jokes were gone. That the audience had changed. He reached for his glass. Missed. I always wondered, I said, surprised by my own calm, how a man with so much pride could afford so much cruelty. He looked at me then. Not angry. Afraid. You don't get to decide who belongs, I continued. But tonight you did us a favor. I stood. Not to loom. Just to be done. My children won't grow up believing love is something they have to audition for. My son closed the folder. Final sound. My daughter reached for his hand without looking. That's when it broke him. Not the exposure. Not the evidence. The alignment. The future choosing sides. We didn't yell. We didn't threaten. We left. Behind us, Christmas lights blinked over an empty table like a failed signal. Later, in the cold bite of night, my daughter asked one question. Did I do something wrong? I knelt. Met her eyes. No, I said. You were just born into someone else's lie. That night I slept without dreaming. Some truths don't free you. They harden you. Sharpen you. Teach you where not to return. We haven't been back. I hear he tells people we overreacted. That families fight. That forgiveness is tradition. He can keep his traditions. I kept my children. And I learned something valuable at that table. Cruelty needs an audience. Take that away, and it has nothing left to say.